Welcome, friends. I will tell you a wonderful story about a little girl called Little Red Riding Hood, who lives in a village on the edge of a dark and dangerous forest, and she was a kind and obedient girl, but she was also somewhat naive. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother asked her to take a basket of food to her grandmother who lived in a little hut on the other side of the woods, and the girl was excited to go and left at once. While she was walking in the woods, Little Red Riding Hood met a big and bad wolf, and the wolf was very clever and pretended to be friendly, and the wolf asked the girl where she was going, and she told him that she was going to visit her grandmother. The wolf told the girl that there was a shortcut through the forest, and even offered to walk with her. Little Red Riding Hood was foolish enough to believe him, and she followed the wolf to the shortcut. The shortcut led the girl into the depths of the woods, and she soon lost her way. Meanwhile, the wolf went straight to the girl's grandmother's cottage and knocked on the door, and when the grandmother answered, he pretended to be Little Red Riding Hood. Grandma was old and frail, and could not see well. The grandmother let the wolf into her house, and he ate her in one morsel. Then he put on the grandmother's nightgown and lay down in her bed, waiting for Little Red Riding Hood to come. When the girl finally reached the hut, she knocked on the door. The wolf answered whoever was knocking on the door, and pretended to be the grandmother. Little Red Riding Hood was surprised to see that her grandmother looked so different, but she thought nothing of it and went in and sat down on the bed beside the wolf. The girl said, "Grandma, how big are your ears?" "The bigger it is, the better it will hear you, my dear," said the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood said, "Grandma, how big your eyes are?" "The bigger they are, the better they will see you, my dear," said the wolf. The girl said, "Grandma, what a big tooth you have." "Read also, The Story of a Thief Who Does Not Lie," said the wolf. At that moment, Little Red Riding Hood realized what had happened and jumped off the bed and ran out of the cottage as fast as she could. The wolf chased after her, but she was faster than him, and she ran through the woods and back to her village, where she told her parents what had happened. The villagers went to the hut and found the wolf sleeping in the grandmother's bed. They filled his stomach with stones at that time, then tied him up and threw him into the river. The wolf drowned, and the girl was rescued. And Little Red Riding Hood learned her lesson, never to go into the woods alone again. She also learned to be more careful about who she trusted, and that not everyone was who they seemed to be. But the story does not end here. A few weeks later, the ghost of the wolf came to the girl in a dream, and the ghost told her that he was not really dead, and that he would come back to get her revenge. The girl was afraid, but she knew she had to be brave, and told the ghost that she was not afraid of him and that she would not let him harm her. The ghost was angry, but he knew that the girl was right and he could not hurt her, because she was too strong, so he left her alone and never bothered her again. And Little Red Riding Hood lived happily ever after, never forgetting the lesson she had learned from the wolf, always being careful of whom she trusted, and never going into the woods alone again.